Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. Hope you guys had an amazing Father's Day weekend. I know I did. Went swimming with the kids for about 2 hours, have a massive sunburn. But, make sure I got, sunblock on the kids first and foremost. That's always, the better thing. And also, congratulations to all the Boston Celtics fans. And if there's a couple of Boston Celtic heads watching this, congratulations. You are now the 2023 24. I think that's how they kind of do it. It's kind of crazy how that kind of works out, but 2023-24 NBA champions. So congratulations, hanging banner number 18, absolutely 110%. But hope you guys got your basketball fixed. But now we're gonna get into some wrestling. So thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today lined up. Today we're gonna talk about we're gonna get into WWE Clash at the Castle, but before then, I kind of want to kind of jump into how we got there on WWE Smackdown. I also want to get into Clash of the Castle, and then we're going to jump right on into the third segment, which is the Monday Night Raw preview. I know usually I have Monday Night Raw preview. I usually have that as my second, but we kind of have to cover a lot of things first. And then I'm going to jump into my Monday power rankings, men's and women's wrestling. I'm going to give you my top 10, of course. We're going to try to get that done in a timely manner. And our segment number 5, we're going to get into a Memorial Monday. Thought we'd get into my man Shad Gaspar, who, if you don't know him, he's Shad and JTG of Crime Time. Not definitely one of the best men, one of the best wrestlers, one of the best like fathers. Definitely ever thought it would be awesome. Feels like it's fitting to kind of have him, kind of honor him a day after after Father's Day, because this guy is the ultimate dad, and we will get into it. But before, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot me your questions, comments, concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. This ultimately puts your question up on top of the list so I can see it. Right now, I'm kind of having a little trouble with my OBS. Technology, ladies and gentlemen, is amazing. It's absolutely crazy. Can do a lot of things, but sometimes it might bite you in the rear end here and there. So I'm trying to figure that out in show. Hopefully, I get that out so I can hear you guys' comments and stuff like that. But yeah, remember to use the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot over your questions. I'm gonna fix it up ASAP. Hopefully, it really does help the show. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity all the way 1,010%. So remember, the link is at the GSMCpodcast.net. So, without further ado, let's start with our segment one. We're going to talk about our WWE Smackdown review. Once again, Chelsea Green and Naomi, I knew they were going to fight. I kind of were hoping, I was kind of banking on it, especially with, like I said, once when we get into Clash of the Castles, now the women tag team division is absolutely wide open. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, although Piper Niven, once again, I will get into a Clash of the Castle. Although she was unsuccessful at winning the WWE Women's Championship, now I feel like Chelsea Green and her can kind of strive for more of a world women's tag team title. I feel like that's kind of more of their, forte. I feel like they kind of need each other. And when I say that, I feel like, Chelsea. I feel like Chelsea has so much potential. I feel like she can be, kind of like that heel, kind of like that. Oh man, I was thinking of, oh my God, I was watching Clash of the Castle and I was like, oh my God, she kind of reminds me of, like a, oh my God, it's gonna bother me all day because it's like, it's like in your face, like, you know what I mean? She's in your face. You want to love her. Like her atmosphere and the way that she like pops out of the television, the way she pops out of the promos, the way that she like kind of holds herself, you kind of want to root for her. Definitely 110%. Oh man, who was it? I think Sasha Banks. I kind of compare her to Sasha Banks because kind of like the glamour kind of way to it, and Sasha Banks. The best thing about her was that she was never like kind of out for like Bailey when they were WWE World Women's Tag Team Champions. She was never really out for her, for a team. She was kind of like, okay, I kind of want what's better for me right now. So is Chelsea Green, if she can land in that kind of, kind of character, portrayal, I feel like that would be good for her character. Obviously you have Piper Niven. I hope the best for her. Obviously she did lose at home. It was kind of like a home field advantage kind of thing. But I don't know. It was a, like I said, we'll get into that, a little later. Next, we see Santos Escobar. He had a promo. Legado del Fantasma is still looking for a place on SmackDown. I feel, God, I don't want them to fade away because I feel like in this modern WWE, kind of Paul Levesque era, I feel like Paul Levesque can't let somebody like Legado del Fantasma, the LWO, the Authors of Pain, the Awesome Truth, the Grayson Waller effect with the awesome. I feel like he can't let people kind of like, flow away. Like, kind of like what you're seeing with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. I guarantee you under the Vince McMahon era, I feel like they'd be kind of be an afterthought by now. But, I don't. You can't have that for your wrestling promotion because if you have that for your wrestling promotion, then fans like us, definitely for me, I know from my perspective, I'm like, man, like you kind of, it feels like it's like that flavor of the week. Like you pop open that magazine, you're like, oh, that's cool. And then like 2 weeks later, you're just like, oh, okay. Oh man, how to work a better, how to have a better home gym. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it just like, then they just like kind of disappear, thus kind of destroying their career. So I feel like under the Triple H, Paul Levesque era, I feel like everyone's going to have a title. Everyone's going to kind of have a, kind of have a place in the storylines and stuff like that. Well, that, obviously, 110%, I feel like that's what I kind of want as a wrestling fan because I hated watching promotions where you would have that guy as like, the squash match, whatever, or kind of like Braun Breaker, kind of like what Braun Breaker is now with WWE, which I really, really honestly did not want for him. They said they're going to change his character. It's been rumored, it's been reported. So, still working on trusting that. Next, we have the Grayson Waller effect. You kind of see a wedge. You kind of see a wedge between Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And honestly, I feel like if you're a WWE fan, Austin Theory, he kind of was, he was kind of done wrong by WWE. And not wrong, like as if like in the worst way ever, because he was Vince McMahon's last guy. That's what, obviously that's what's been, reported and stuff like that. He was Vince McMahon's last guy. And it would just be so amazing if he found, we all knew it. We all knew that he was going to be Vince McMahon's last guy. And we'd be like, oh, why do we want what Vince McMahon wants for us when he's gone? This guy's gone. And if they find a way, imagine if they find a way to turn him babyface with Grayson Waller, they would lose the tag team championships. But so far, Grayson, like he pulled him, he pulled Austin Theory to take the hit from DIY. I feel like it'd be smart for WWE if there's ever a hope to kind of replenish, if there's ever a hope to kind of restore, if there's ever a hope to put Austin Theory in this idea of once, obviously you heard John Cena say it, Randy Orton, oh, this guy's going to be a world champion one day. We don't see it. I don't see it, especially as a wrestling fan. I really honestly don't see it. Him becoming babyface, honestly, it's probably because he's been heel for so long. He's been heel for the longest time. And it's to the point where like I feel I don't know, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Because if you go to heel, we're gonna hate it. If you go to babyface, we're gonna hate it. So there has to be that perfect balance. So it's going to be interesting to see what WWE creative does with Austin Theory's character. I guarantee that after SummerSlam, these guys will not be WWE Tag Team Champions. All right, next we have AJ Styles. We have AJ Styles. Cody Rhodes. Um, yeah, this was a good promo. This is probably the best promo between two guys that have established, success outside of the WWE kind of spectrum. AJ Styles, he kind of not really broke the fourth wall, but he was like, like Cody Rhodes, you were in Ring of Honor, guess what? You quit. You were in AEW, a promotion you built up with your boys and you quit. And you're in New Japan Wrestling, and guess what? You quit. And Cody Rhodes was like, "Yeah, I did quit, but I gambled on myself." He ultimately knew that the best place to come was, the most important title, the entire industry. He pretended like it was, I don't know. And then he said you pretended to be Mark Henry for a night, and I was like, "Oh, like I thought that was pretty cool." I definitely loved, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes showing us that he could kind of be. I don't want to say that word. He can kind of be, we'll G rated, kind of be mean. You're such a meanie. Like, obviously, in adult terms, you'd be like, man, that guy was a giant, but I don't know. I just feel like it's nice to see a different side of Cody Rhodes. Definitely, I know there was kind of contemplation on maybe Cody turning heel because right now, I guess according to reports, I think it was Ringside News. I read an article that said that honestly, Bailey and Cody Rhodes are kind of boring champions. They're kind of better chasers as they are like, kind of holding up a company, so to speak. So, that's kind of something to read into because that was something that I was kind of, acknowledging because I was like, honestly, if you look at Cody Rhodes and if you look at, his WWE title reign, if you look at some of the superstars on SmackDown or Raw that might be able to challenge him, might be able to kind of, put down the, his story, so to speak. I don't think there's really anybody. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of nobody except Roman Reigns. Except Roman Reigns. Obviously, you kind of did have this thing with the Bloodline and Solo Sikoa, but don't want to get into that right away. But I don't know. It was kind of crazy. Very, very crazy. So another thing that I kind of anticipated from SmackDown, you lost Ricochet. They did have a WWE Speed kind of promotion exclusively on X. But I feel like without Ricochet, I don't feel like Speed is worth watching. And I'm not trying to sound, cynical. I'm not trying to be not trying to be a jerk and kind of crap on anything that the WWE does without Ricochet. But I hope they're in contract talks with him. I know that he's been written off of WWE because of the whole Braun Breaker thing, slamming him through the windshield of a car. But I don't know. I just feel like but that's just my opinion. I feel like from my perspective, I feel like WWE Speed was created for Ricochet because they kind of owed him. They owed him from the beginning. They owed them I compared it over and over again. He was kind of like, he was very popular in New Japan Professional Wrestling. Very, very popular in the independent in the independent circuit. And he was this close of going to AEW. Obviously, he has a close friend with Ospreay. And I feel like it was one of those things where, like, where you see another wrestling promotion have this shiny new toy and you just get jealous and you're like, I want that. I want that. And the moment you have it, you don't do crap with it. That's in a nutshell of what Ricochet was for the WWE. And of course, that's my opinion. If you have any, different thoughts of that, hit up the chat so we could talk about it. Moving on, so we had Queen Nia against Mi Chen. Nia was able to pick up the victory. Kevin Owens with the Latino Heat shirt. I saw that with with the Eddie Guerrero show. With the Eddie Guerrero shirt, absolutely love that. I like how Kevin Owens is kind of like. I feel like he kind of wears these shirts to kind of be one with the people. I feel like just like kind of like this feel, kind of like this feel of like, relativism that you might have with KO as opposed to like someone that's like, absolutely like, kind of like, like I love Randy Orton. But Randy Orton, I love this character. He's not really going out to pander to the crowd. He doesn't care if you hate him. He doesn't care if you love him. He's going to do his actions that will ultimately, further him up to win the WWE Championship. That's something you have to respect about Randy. That's something you have to respect about Sami Zayn is to go out there and kind of, pander to the Saudi Arabian, like where he wears the, the whole get up, the turban and stuff. Dude, that's cool, man. That's what you want to do. That's the way, I like that. That's your character. That's what you should do. Kevin Owens is kind of. I love Kevin Owens. I feel like Kevin Owens goes out there. He just fight Owens fight Owens fight, and then obviously I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan. So next, you saw LA Knight in the pool of Logan Paul. Logan Paul coming home, and he was like, "Man, who the hell's like? How did he get past security?" But that's just the LA Knight. Like, what I mean. Then they had a promo with Carmelo Hayes. Love Carmelo Hayes. Hope that he does. Hope that he doesn't fade away too far after losing to the LA Knight because the LA Knight's going to challenge Logan Paul. Would love to see Carmelo Hayes. Qualify for the Money in the Bank. participation, whatever that they're trying to do. So Nick Aldis in the main event barred the Tongans Solo, Tomatonga and Tongaloa, and Solo versus Kevin Owens. Heyman, the wise man, was forced to kind of put Solo Sikoa's foot on the rope. Kind of crazy, but I can't get too crazy into it because running out of time on this segment. Heyman claims to want to help Owens. That's so far it's just been seemed like it's kind of a lie. I don't know if Paul Heyman is going to go out that crazy to prove that he's with Solo Sikoa and stuff like that. I honestly kind of think that it'd be better if he doesn't do so, and if he kind of stabs them in the back, so to speak, before they stab him in the back, kind of like what Sami Zayn was kind of stuck into for the Bloodline storyline. So it should be kind of crazy, kind of what's going on with that. After the match, he was attacked by the Tongans. Randy Orton helps out, and RKO to Tongaloa. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love how they kind of kind of humanized Tongaloa, because I feel like ever since he made it to WWE Smackdown, he's just been on a wreck. He's just been this wrecking ball of just absolute carnage. So yeah. All right, guys, do not go anywhere. We got done with our WWE Smackdown review. Now we're going to jump right on into our WWE Clash at the Castle review. So, hey, do not go anywhere.